Hello, welcome to He's Hot, but something's off. I've done that intro, I don't know. How many episodes are we up to now? 88. I'm just kind of waiting for the 100. I don't know. I'm waiting for the 100. Eventually, I have to run out of stuff to talk about, right? Eventually. Quick housekeeping. Next week, I think you already know this. Next week, I'm going to be on the Atlantis cruise from Miami down to Caribbean. So next week, we're going to have a break week. And that's so great that all of you get to take a break from my voice and my nonstop talking. Yeah, so one of the nice things when you have a hobby, and this is a hobby, by the way, the ads don't make any money. Like the ads I put in for the skincare line, if only some of you would buy it, then it would actually serve the purpose of an ad. And then I can say that, okay, this thing is monetized. I know YouTube runs like a few ads, but like I don't get barely anything from YouTube. Speaking from YouTube, but this is gonna be a super random podcast. I'm just in like an ADHD state of mind. Yesterday, I uploaded a extra special bonus episode of the Gay Cruise and Travel podcast. And if you're kind of into the gay cruises, you're curious, you might be listening to that podcast already, but we were waiting for everyone that was booked on that cruise was waiting for something called the Cruise Vacation Guide, or CVG in short, to come out from Atlantis. And it's kind of sort of supposed to come out like 2 weeks, maybe 1 week before, probably closer to 2 weeks, but it's always late. It is always late. And the cruise sets sail on Monday, coming Monday, and it was yesterday, Wednesday, that was released. And I wanted to, and I promised those podcast listeners that I would go through the CVG on a podcast episode. So I did an extra special edition. That's the only ever time I've gone out of schedule with a podcast that I like. It was like a podcast episode based on some event that was like, okay, this thing is out. Now I got to go do a whatever podcast episode about it. One time, this back in 2021? No, 2020. This was something in 2020. This was sometime during lockdown. I was going to I did actually film this. I filmed a reaction video when a new Twice music video came out. So Twice is a very popular K-pop girl group. They're not that popular in the Americas, but they are very, like, everyone knows who Twice is in South Korea. But it was like very early on in the pandemic that I got into Twice. I didn't even really know who they were until like the very start of the pandemic. That's like a whole other story. If we have a lot of time to kill, maybe I'll get to it. But anyways, I'm a big Twice fan. I'm a once-a. They call their fans once because they call Twice once. Get it? Huh. Anyways, I did try to do a reaction video to like some new single that they had out, and they had some new music video out. It turned out that it was one of the singles that I didn't enjoy. And I'm enough of a fan of this girl group that, like, when you like a lot of the songs of an artist that are not their singles, I think that's where you can kind of say that you really actually like a lot of that artist's music. Because, especially like top 40 stuff, it's very easy to like the singles that make it to the charts for like any artist, basically. For example, what's a good, like, I wouldn't call myself a Christina Aguilera fan per se, but you know, several of her singles, like her hits, if you will, I know those songs and I like them. Britney is a little different because there are quite a few Britney songs that I like that have never been music videos, never been singles, never been like on the charts. And they were just songs that were on her album. Actually, I've had a few people over the years, but it's pretty popular between gays to be like, oh, who's your favorite diva? I don't think I can be as big of a. I'm not like a fan type person. I'm not a super fan of like really anything. The closest I'm being to a super fan is for Twice, and even then, it's not like I know the birthday of like all the members of that girl group. I'm not like that type of a fan. I just don't care to like people like that much. But my favorite diva would be Britney. I think probably because it was like, you grow up in a certain era, in a certain decade, for example, and then throughout all the decades, there has been certain divas that are like the most prominent or popular. So for me, that happened to be Britney. And I don't know that much. I don't know when her birthday is. I don't know that much. I'm not like a super fan or anything. But when gays it just comes in conversation like, oh, who's your favorite diva? And I say Britney, and they'll always say, what's your favorite Britney song? And that's how you can always know if when they say, oh, my favorite diva is whoever, and then they say like, oh, name 3 songs, name your 3 favorite songs from that diva. If all they say is like just the hits, and it doesn't just like roll off their tongue, kind of sorta, then it's kind of like, oh, you're not really a fan of that person. You know what I mean? So I would say Britney is probably my favorite diva, but I'm not like I'm not a super fan of any artist. Really, not that crazy obsessive type. But I would talk about some of my favorite Britney songs. So like I said, they're not singles. They are just songs that are like on like a special edition of a CD, or like they're just not the single. There's just other songs on the album. Break the Ice. Okay, Break the Ice was a single. There was a music video made on it, but Break the Ice is one of my favorites. Lately, I've been listening to Britney's like original album. Some of the songs on her first album, Hit Me One More Time, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Ooh, I almost got that one wrong. But back then, I only really liked her singles, which is Sometimes, Crazy, From the Bottom of My Broken Heart. Yeah, there were some. Those are back then, like in Britney's early years. I just liked her, like the actual singles. Hey, when was the last time you really took care of your skin? The skin is the largest organ in the whole human body and is doing so much for you. It protects you from germs and cooties. It keeps you warm when you're cold. It keeps you cool when you're hot. It's making vitamin D. It gives you the gift of touch and sensation. And that's just scratching the surface, so you better take care of it. I started my own skincare company, Serve Labs, to serve fun and functional skincare for everyone, so that you can serve fun while serving face. Go to servelabs.co, servelabs.co, or follow us at Serve Labs on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and discover how easy and fun it is to treat your skin right with Serve Labs. Anyway, enough Britney talk. It's been kind of, I think I said last week, it was like, I think last time when I recorded last week's episode, it was like a really busy day, and the busyness continues. You can't see it. So you already know that I'm now podcasting from my dining room table, and I don't have that dedicated area or setup anymore. Oh my God. So the last few days, my realtor has been over just to help get the place ready to be listed. We just did the listing photos yesterday. So Wednesday as I'm recording this. So 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we were doing photos. We basically, I had to put everything away. Like, when I look at the photos, because he sent me the previews earlier, it literally looks like a house that was staged because it was really empty and barren. I don't have that much stuff to begin with. Kind of sort of just like hit almost everything into a closet or like a drawer or something. Yeah, but the place looks, it was so barren. It looks so barren. Like, it was really weird. However, the primary bedroom, which used to be my multi-purpose room, it wasn't my actual bedroom, it looks so nice in there. My desk is actually in there now. I used to have my desk that I work at with my computer monitors and everything. It used to be right across from where I'm sitting right now. It used to be kind of sort of, there's like this blank space of a wall that's kind of right beside it's kind of beside the couch in the living room, and it's like across from the dining area, and it's kind of sort of beside the front door. Basically, there's just like wide expanse of like blank wall, and I actually end up putting my desk there because I used to have my desk in the bedroom. It's basically like an office room, and I didn't like that. It felt like a jail cell a little bit, but I guess it felt like a jail cell because I was burnt out and all the stuff with the job that I had before. And I had associated that room with like the job or jobs that was burning me out and I didn't like. That afterwards, I got a different desk and I actually just put it like out kind of in the living dining area. And that's kind of sort of where I do all my current self-employed work now. But for the staging, it wouldn't look nice to have like a desk right beside your couch. It kind of looks weird. So everything was really, really cleaned up. It's like a very traditional layout. There's a sofa and a coffee table and a TV and like that's it. And like a rug and like there's nothing else in the living room. And here in the dining room, like, it was just a dining table and chairs and like that was it. Like no flowers, no decorations, no nothing. And the primary, I had to put a bed in there because people expect when they tour a house to look at photos for there to be a bed on a effing bed frame. So fucking bougie. My mattress just used to be on the floor, the guest mattress. So my realtor got this like bed frame. We put the bed on there, got a bedside table, got a lamp. It looks so nice in there. That room has never looked that nice ever. It's actually really pleasant. And I moved the desk in there so that it's a really big bedroom. So it actually looked really nice to just have something on the other side of the bed. So we put my desk there. It's a little setup for the staging to stage it for the listing photos. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna move the desk back because we need to keep the place kind of looking pristine and nice and whatever for my realtor to be able to show the house for like later on after we list it. So I've been working out of that room again, but it was weird because I thought, it's going to feel like a jail cell again. Because when I used to work in that room all the time, it just felt like not a nice place to be. Like, it wasn't a place I wanted to really be in. But the furniture is different in there now. And obviously, like, it's a different desk. So, like, it's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same before. It's a different desk, different monitor setup. Like, things are in, like, a slightly different place. It's cleaned up. The room is cleaned up a little bit. It's much neater. And I was like, oh, it's actually kind of nice to be in here right now. And one of the things I was thinking about is when I move out of this place, whenever this place sells and I get some new apartment, it's probably going to be an apartment. It's like, I was just going to maybe move back to like a one bedroom, but still find a one bedroom apartment where I can still put a desk. But maybe I want to get another 2-bedroom place. Now that I guess if I decorate the second room properly, it won't feel like a jail cell and I can be more productive working in like a dedicated space. But I think I actually prefer that. Yeah, obviously extra bedrooms cost extra money. Yeah, but I've just been busy like cleaning the patio. Oh my God. I don't like cleaning things. I've talked about this before, but I really feel like if I'm going to run like multiple of my own businesses in the future, like maybe it would actually be worth it to just hire a maid every once in a while to like clean things, because I had to literally scrub the grout in the shower of the guest bathroom. Now, this is partially my fault because I haven't cleaned it that recently, to be really honest. Look, I'm a single bachelor. Like that does not like cleaning things. So, like it's not. I have much better things to do than like get on my hands and knees and like scrub grout out of the shower. Okay, so annoying. Anyways, but we had to make the place look nice and clean and neat and everything. It was the only place in the house that was like that took elbow grease to like clean. I've got these 2 patios, which was like easy enough to like sweep and get the dust out of, but like to clean the effing like guest bathroom shower was like, it was. I just hate cleaning things. It was just so annoying. I brushed. I was on my knees. I had to brush. I had to like scrubbing the thing. Oh my god, it's so. Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds very bougie. I'm saying that word's coming up a lot in this podcast. Sounds like a very bougie thing to have, like a maid, I guess. But I guess having a maid is worth it if you're going to be doing something valuable with the time that you save instead of cleaning something. So that's the way I see. Yeah, but the place looks really nice. It's like like any little thing that was wrong for the house, like some holes in some of the walls, but I had certain things that were hung up on the walls that I removed and got rid of because I didn't need those things anymore, and I needed to take stuff down before I sold the house anyways. So I had a handyman come in and patch and paint that kind of stuff. My realtor is, in his words, a white guy. I will also add that he's a straight white guy, and he's like a super cool guy. And I've got this like large patio out back, which was one of the reasons I bought this place. And I've never ever used it or been out there in like the several years that I've lived here. It seemed like a super awesome, super unique, like very attractive thing to have. But it turns out I'm not a patio person. Like I don't like going out to a patio. Like I don't like just going out to the patio and just like doing whatever people do on a patio. Like apparently I don't do that type of a thing. I just want to be indoors. I have 2 patios, and I've not hung out in either one of them for like 30 seconds on at any time for that many years that I've been here. That's just a tea. So it's like super dirty, and it's got stuff that's like, we've had storms and rain and wind and ash from the wildfires. All it's basically got 4 years of dust and dirt and whatever stuff blown around and leaves and everything. So he came in and fixed it all up because again, just like the inside of the house, the patios need to look presentable. And he's such a straight white guy that he actually said like, "Oh, thank you for letting me like spruce up your patio." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, like this is like fun for me to do. This is like a fun project. This is like, you know, what I would do for fun." I'm like, I can't think of anything that would, besides cleaning something. Like I would rather do my taxes or like go to the dentist than like do manual labor, you know? So to start off with, it was just kind of cleaning up some of the stuff I already had back in the patio. And then over the weekend, he texted me out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, what do you think about if we put up some, like a wooden partition with some of the posts that are already in the back?" So basically you get this kind of like wooden fence, freestanding fence type of a thing. And I'm like, okay, sure. I didn't suggest anything. I was like, I don't really care what it looks like back there. As long as you think it's going to sell the house, do whatever you want back there. I thought we're just going to do something really simple. He was like, "Oh, I have this idea to put this stuff out." I'm like, "Okay, sure, go nuts." I'm like, "Whatever, as long as I don't have to lift a finger." So he gets like a guy to come in a few days ago, and he puts up all this like wood paneling, kind of like a freestanding fence, basically on this like back patio of mine. It's like, it looks really, really nice. It looks really nice. And he was so giddy. He was so giddy to like be able to do that. I'm thinking like, this is the exact type of thing I wouldn't want to do. Like, I can appreciate something looking nice, and I can definitely appreciate people that do that type of work. I would not find it fun at any level. But then I was telling him this, but then I also told him like, well, my idea of fun also could just be like sitting in front of my computer for hours on end. And like for a lot of people, that's also like jail for them. So it's like, it was a win-win situation. I got a super nice looking patio that looks super, super nice and will probably help sell the house. It looks really, really nice back there, honestly. And he had fun doing it. He also even put down some AstroTurf in the back. He got a couple of these like patio chairs, just like stage it in the back so it doesn't look like an empty space. So he was having so much fun doing it. I was like, this is weird, but like I guess everyone has a different type of hobby, right? My hobbies are, well, this is kind of a hobby. It's not making any money, so I guess it's a hobby. And yeah, I mean, I like, yeah, everyone has their hobbies, I guess. Yes, I'm glad it was like fun for him to do. Okay, can I tell you something for real? Skincare is not really a sexy topic. No one's waking up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my God, I have to take care of my skin. I know I talk a lot on the podcast, I have a lot of opinions, and I have a lot of advice to give, but if you don't listen to me about anything, listen to me about this. You have to take care of yourself, and you also have to take care of your skin. I believe in it so much, and I think it's such a critical thing that I started my own skincare company, Serve Labs, to serve fun and functional skincare for everyone. And you know what? Not to toot my own horn, but people are always telling me, your skin looks so good, and I can't believe how old you are. Do you know why? Because I've been taking care of my skin for many, many years. But I know, for a lot of you, skincare just sounds like another chore. But I want to make it fun. And that's where Serve Labs comes in. Go to servelabs.co, servelabs.co, or follow us at Serve Labs on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and discover how easy and fun it is to treat your skin right with Serve Labs. I'm got my fingers crossed a little bit. I'm not like super expecting it, but I'm open to it that he basically has the house. My realtor has the keys, and he's gonna have the place to himself while I'm out on the cruise next week. So he's gonna try to do showings and all that jazz and things like that. And he's relatively confident that we'll get an offer sooner or later. So I don't know exactly. I don't know if the market is that strong necessarily. I was talking to my therapist, and it just like this topic just came up that like I was selling my house. And he was like, "Oh, the people that have been displaced from the wildfires." And, it's not the top of the news article right now, but there were, the people that were affected by the wildfires, for the vast majority of them, their lives have not returned to normal in any way, shape, or form. A lot of them have been displaced. A lot of them lost their homes. It's going to take a long time to kind of rebuild and for them to regroup. But my therapist was just saying, with the wildfires displacing so many people, that should probably be... It's not a good thing that people were displaced, but at least in terms of for someone like you trying to sell your house, it shouldn't cause a weakening in the demand. But I think the way I see it is a lot of the people that are displaced by the wildfires, they are not necessarily looking to buy a new place right away, because a lot of them, they still own the land that their house sat on if they lost their house. Some people's houses are okay, and I think they're slowly able to kind of make their way back. But for the people where their property was damaged, their homes were damaged, it feels like a lot of them would be looking for like short-term housing, maybe like a month-to-month rental, or maybe like even like signing like a yearly lease somewhere else. And I feel like it's not just a house in a particular location, is that they were part of that community. So they would probably want to live maybe somewhere close-ish to where they were. West Hollywood isn't super, super far from where the fires are, but they're definitely closer locations where people could try to get some rental or housing from that's closer than West Hollywood. And also the type of people that lived in the affected areas, lived in the affected areas from the wildfires, don't tend to be, to my limited knowledge, admittedly, the type of people that would want to permanently relocate to a condo in West Hollywood. A lot of the houses that were affected, there's definitely some multifamily like housing, like apartments and things like that, but a lot of them are just like single detached homes. To be in the middle of West Hollywood it's not quirky, but it's a little bit specific. Like it's not just like any random person that wants to live in LA would want to just live in the middle of West Hollywood, like where I live right now. I don't know that there are not a lot of kids that live here, not that many families that live here. I think in this whole apartment buildings, 30 units, I think there are only like one or two of the units that have kids. And they're like very young kids. Like I'm not even sure they're school age. I think if you have school age kids, you probably may not want to live like right here. Like it's even very rare for me to see any sort of school age kids like walking around. Like when I go to and from the gym, when I drive around, when I just do my normal thing to like go get groceries or run chores or whatever. Like it's super super rare that I see kids. Like I don't see kids at the supermarket. I don't see kids at like the mail place. I don't. Yeah, just not that many. It's not family friendly. I think just people with kids tend not to live right here. So it's like the gays want to live here. There are a lot of gays that live here. So there we go. All right. I had no idea what I wanted to talk about when I started this podcast, which it's pretty much every single episode of this podcast. If you're still listening, the three of you that are still listening to this, I assume you get off on the randomness of my thoughts. I can't even rag on that because these are my thoughts, so that are coming straight from my mouth to your ears. And with that, just a reminder again, we're gonna take a little break next week. However, for my Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/HHBSO, if you want the direct link, they get a extra episode of the podcast called Uncut. And because there are paying subscribers, that one is not on a hiatus. There will still be a episode of Uncut, even while on a cruise, that I will record before I go on the cruise. And also, Patreon members also get all the vlogs that I make. So just starting from last week, the vlogs that I took in Sydney, I was in Sydney right before Christmas. It's like a three or four-parter. Those are going up right now. And before that, my Vancouver vlog with mom is also up for my Patreon subscribers. And I have a little bit of vlog content from Bangkok that is coming up in February. And then you bet your dollar that when I go to Miami and then onto the cruise next week, I will be vlogging that for my Patreon subscribers as well. So even if you are not sure you want to spend any money, you would just go to the Patreon page. Even without subscribing, you can see a preview of the type of content that I post on there. And I'm just saying it's a lot of fun. Subscribe in my Patreon. All right. Until 2 weeks from now. Bye, y'all.